Welcome to the Full Frame Podcast, AVIAN's newest podcast and I guess official video production podcast. Today I have Morgan and Tina with me. Morgan, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself because I feel like you'd probably be better at it. And same for Tina, I'll let you just introduce yourself. So go ahead.
Absolutely. My name is Morgan Hoey. I am the Senior Director of Training, Multimedia, and Consulting here at AVIAN. I've been with the company about 6 years, and I started in our strategic communications side of the house, providing strategic communication support to a team that also produced videos. And over the years, I have led the video team, grown it up, and now we're here.
Great. And I'm Tina Carroll. I am the multimedia production team lead, and this is my second career because I came from over 20 years maybe longer than 20 years in the hospitality health club industry, where I did a lot of training, education, workforce development, some video work. And it's great to be here at AVIAN, and I've completed 1 year. So it's been a wonderful experience so far.
Yeah, cool. So welcome. In this first episode, we're going to go over kind of how we as a company and you as a team create these videos, give a general overview, and then in the next few episodes, we'll dive into those different pieces of the process. But this episode really just serves a purpose of like, what is this capability that we have? What do we have to offer to the customer? So with that, do you guys want to just kind of explain what our video team does and maybe a little bit of how it's different from some of the other teams that are out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So AVIAN has had a video production team since 2015. We've been serving government and commercial customers, and we create a wide array of different types of video, from live action filmed videos. Of course, we also produce animated videos. We do 2D animation, full motion graphics, and also whiteboard animation. And we can combine any of those styles into a single product, so we don't just have to follow one. And we create videos for a variety of purposes. And we've got a bunch of great skill sets on our team. Tina, do you want to talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, we have a great group of team members. And as Morgan said, we can do 2D animation, whiteboard animation. We have graphics, illustration skills, video skills, editing skills, the whole Adobe suite. So the team is very versatile, and we film on site. We go to the customer, and we're happy to do it.
We also handle concepting, scripting, and full project planning for each project. And I think that one of the things that really sets AVIAN apart is our background in strategic communication. So when the team first began, I would help plan all the videos and write all the scripts so that we had a very strong message throughout each piece. And then we were very deliberate about the way that all of the visuals matched up and supported the overall message and the customer's goal. And that's something that we have carried into our team today. And I think, we're even better than when we started. And that to me is one of the things that really sets our videos apart from just the average run-of-the-mill video that you run across on YouTube or on Facebook, and really turns them into strong communication pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, it's kind of like a customer might come to us with an idea, but then we're taking that idea and saying, yeah, we can make that for you, but here's what's going to be better. It's more strategic. It's going to get their message out to their audience, usually their workforce, a lot better than maybe a lot better than their idea, but I think just in a better delivery.
Absolutely.
I think you guys do a really great job at that.
Yeah. And on that note, I found that in some of our initial customer meetings, our customer will come to us and say, hey, I've noticed that in my organization, we have an awareness issue. We have this tool and our teams are not using this tool. It's an awareness issue. And we'll sit down with the customer, talk through, exactly what they're seeing, exactly how the issue is presenting to them. We'll talk to some of the intended audience. And sometimes we uncover that maybe it's not an awareness issue. Maybe it's an education issue or a training issue, and they know about the tool, but they are not exactly sure how to use it. So we have those in-depth conversations up front that allow us to more accurately diagnose the issue and then be able to provide a more accurate solution.
Yeah. So we're talking about a little bit about like the awareness issues and trainings and all that kind of stuff. that kind of leads into the types of videos that you guys make. And Tina, you mentioned or maybe it was Morgan, you mentioned whiteboarding and all that kind of stuff. What other videos did you kind of list them all already, or what other types of videos do you guys create?
We do a wide variety of videos or training. We've done training and education. Really is workforce development for customers. We did a 6-series workforce development training for a government customer that they used for an operational testing course to help augment their classroom training, and is also suitable for e-learning should they choose to use that in the future. We've done marketing and awareness videos. We've done corporate messaging. And as Morgan said, sometimes it's talking to the customer about what their goals are and what their overall objective is and who the target audience is. Recently, we did a series of virtual tours, and we at Knock AD and at Wolf here in Southern Maryland, and we talked to the customer about, instead of one big video, let's do a series of smaller videos because your target audience is looking for that short, quick information that they can digest easily and then say, hey, I'd like to learn more. So let me go watch some more on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking about now the videos that you actually created for your own team and kind of throwing a wrench into this conversation. Did you, as somebody that was on the other side of the camera for that experience, did you learn anything from it? It's
way harder than anybody thinks.
Yeah.
So everyone we've always worked with is always very nervous. Everyone hates seeing themselves on camera. You always sound weird to yourself. And we were no exception.
Yes.
We were all, I hate how it looks. I hate how it sounds. And everyone else on the team was like, no, you look great. It looks great. The message is perfect. Your speech was great. It was a really good experience for us because we then recently went through everything we ask our customers to do. Yeah. So we have a great appreciation for that.
And I guess just staying on that topic a little bit, can you talk a little bit about during that process of the video production, how you kind of help your customers get through that? So again, everyone thinks they sound weird or look weird. I do it with these podcasts. I'm like, I hate how I look, but get through it. Is there any kind of techniques or anything that you use to help get them past all of those?
Yeah, so our job is to make it easy on our customer. Right. And we help them identify talent. We help them with script writing. We'll work with the subject matter expert. Sometimes we're taking really technical material and we have to translate it for an easily digestible message for the audience. Especially if you're using, for example, a K through 12 community or a college student community. You want to make sure you're targeting that group of people appropriately. And a lot of planning goes into that. So we'll make sure everybody has the scripts. We have a teleprompter, which everyone loves and breathes a sigh of relief. But our speakers have all been fantastic, and the teleprompter is a comfort. Most of them didn't really need it because it is their field. Personally, I love working with people, so I get the talent talking as we're running film, and that's the way we get great B-roll from our customers, and just set people at ease and get them laughing and being more comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, so really just taking the anxiety out of it, making them, like you're saying, more comfortable. Definitely, I think, a benefit of working with us and a strength that our team has to be able to do that. What else do you want to talk about?
I would say on that note that, sometimes we do come across someone that is either nervous or for whatever environmental reason, whether there's a background noise or something, we're having a difficult time making it through their interview. We also have the beauty of and the benefit of fantastic editors. So our editors are really, really skilled in, if we have an interview that turns out that way, they're really skilled in being able to edit it so that it looks its absolute best. And oftentimes, we've had a situation like that. I remember when we were filming a virtual tour at the Man Flight Simulator, we were outside and there was a crow in the parking lot that appeared in the middle of an interview and would not leave. It was there for over an hour. And we first, we're jumping around trying to make it leave. That didn't work. So we're like, okay, the show must go on. And we ended up cutting this interview completely around this bird. You had no idea that it was in there. The only people that remember are us and our wonderful interviewee at the time. He was fantastic at rolling with the punches on that one. But we are able to seamlessly edit these interviews so that even if something goes awry, it looks perfect when it comes out on camera.
Yeah. Let's talk about the editing process, I guess. And that really falls into a future episode of post-production is what I call it. Probably you guys call it too. What does that, I mean, I know there's obviously the editing within like Adobe Premiere and all that kind of stuff. What about the animations? How do we determine what's going to make a good animation and I guess where we decide to put those in a video? Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. Well, the whole thing centers around what is the key message? What's the overall objective of the message for whatever it is, if it's training, if it's awareness, if it's a corporate message. And then we start with the story. So how do we weave that message within the story? Then working with the customer, we determine, are there video visuals we can use, or is this situation better for a whiteboard animation or a 2D animation? That's often very popular for workforce development because it is easy to view. It's a faster production cycle, and our illustrator is wonderful at it. So, and our team's great at it. So, we really work with the customer. Sometimes there are both in a piece or in a training or in an awareness campaign. So it really depends on the customer's needs and working with the message. What's the best thing?
Okay. And it can really support very technical content. So we were going through this kind of science and technology behind the ASIL chamber and how that works when we made the virtual tour for that group. And, we're getting all of these notes from the SME on electromagnetic waves, and it bounces here. And then over time it gets smaller. And we're like, okay, great. But there's nothing that we can film that really cements that concept. So how are we going to communicate that to a K-12 audience? Right. A simple animation is a perfect way to do that. And additionally, some of our customers have concepts that are not yet created. They're just still ideas, or they are more technology based, like digital transformation, for example. Mm-hmm. We've made a handful of videos in the past couple of years going through what digital transformation means and how it would be executed. And at the time, there wasn't much tangibly that we could go and film or portray. So animation was the top choice for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Take a complicated subject, and it's kind of like, I mean, I'm thinking Miss Frizzle, but it's a little less than that, I think. It's not a full cartoon.
Right.
All right. So I think we've covered a lot of what we wanted to. For the last part, do you guys want to go through start to finish what a production might look like for a customer, just at like a high level? And then, like I said, in these next few episodes, we'll go over more detail on the entire process and what people could expect if they were working with us in the future. So you want to do that?
Sure. Well, one of the things I think that makes us unique is our ability to understand the government client, the corporate client, the workforce development client. We've worked with a lot of customers that had sensitive information, so we're very skilled and flexible with working with that. Our process is always having a discovery kickoff meeting with the customer, talking about what their needs are and their objectives, their target audience, and then making our professional recommendations on we feel this format would be best to achieve your goals. Then we go into the concepting, the design phase, and the customer always has input along this process. So that's what's fantastic about the AVIAN team is the customer's always involved. We don't just show them a product at the end. There's touch points all the way through. So we storyboard. There's approvals. If we script, there's approvals on scripts. We have in-house voiceover capabilities that have been very well received with our customers and their audiences. And then we go into filming, editing, where we're very flexible. So, for example, with the recent COVID restrictions, we had to figure out how to film multiple speakers through multiple seasons. And we did it all outdoors so that the speakers would be free of any mask restrictions. And we could focus on the message and the speaker. Once we get to the video phase, we have an internal review, making sure that we've communicated appropriately, we've matched our concept sheet. And then the customer has 2 opportunities to review. And we hope at the first one we're 90% there, and at the second review we just have small changes, and then we deliver a product. We're skilled in 508 compliance, so we can provide that. And then the other great thing is we can provide multiple formats. So we have customers that want to post to YouTube. We have customers that want to post to their internal SharePoint site. We have customers that want to post to their learning management system. So we produce the full SCORM file for them. So we really want to create a great product for our customers and then create a raving fan. So they keep coming back.
Yeah, I think one of the points that you kind of hit, and I'll just say it bluntly, I think what makes us different and our team different from some other video teams is that they are video companies that want to work with the government, where we are a government company that wants to create videos for the government. So we already have the comfort of working with the government customer. We already know the ins and outs of getting on base and working on base and have all that knowledge already. So it makes it a little bit more smoother for them, I think, rather than going out to somebody that wants to make a video and it just happens to be a government customer.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a whole internal team of SMEs and experts in the government business and outside.
Yes.
So it's been great because our team has been able to go out to internal SMEs and say, hey, is this an appropriate visual, just to confirm before we might show something to a client that, especially in something that's pretty technical. And that's been a great asset for us.
And even the things that are not so technical, but very important, like uniforms, making sure that if we are depicting someone in an animation, that they are the appropriate rank as we are intending them to be.
Not pulling any, like Top Gun stuff.
Exactly. Yes. Making sure that the appropriate aircraft are shown if we are, covering multiple aircrafts in a video, or even sometimes, we have access to stock footage that the Navy produces, but we have to make sure that it comes from the right branch, because sometimes the same platform is in use by 2 different branches. And we are very, very deliberate about making sure that everything that we produce is going to connect with the audience, because just like in Top Gun, if something is off, then sometimes the audience will focus on that piece as opposed to staying with the message.
Yeah. And we'll stay on the Top Gun example. There obviously that normal audience that's just going to see a jet movie doesn't know it, but the Navy officers, the Navy community that went to that movie knows that the ranks were not correct, or knows that the awards on their chests were not correct. So some very detailed stuff that luckily we have access to people that know all that. So
the details definitely matter. Yes. Even my fiance and I were watching the show on Amazon Prime called The Terminalist, and even like the weapons handling in that show is actually very accurate. Like they are racking the weapons and changing out their magazines appropriately, and there's nothing that like he hates more than when we're watching a show and someone just has never-ending bullets. And he commented multiple times, "Wow, I can't believe how accurate this is. Like, this is fantastic." Right. So those small things definitely matter and definitely make a solid impression. So we try to be really, really cognizant of all of the small details that add up to a large impression. Yeah.
All right. I think that's all we wanted to cover in this first episode. Did you guys have any last-minute thoughts that you wanted to bring up?
I'm just really excited for all of the rest of the series to come out. We've got some great stuff planned.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So in the next episode, we are talking about the pre-production process. What you do before you actually come to the customer with cameras and microphones and all of the gadgets, what that looks like behind the scenes, and giving folks an idea of what to expect early on in the process. So Morgan, Tina, thank you. And
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
we'll see everybody on the next episode.
Great.